welcome back to Stock Talk Trades. We are going over entries in this video. We are going to be using H bar, and if you haven't seen, this is a prediction for H bar. And if you want to see more in detail on the probabilities, because this is not the only probability that can happen, so go ahead and check that out. It's my most recent H bar video, and I hope you guys find value from this video and any video on my page. Consider subscribing and liking, and drop a comment down below if you have any questions. So we're going to be talking about entries because someone had a really good question about where I should enter and if it's going to pull back and wait to pull back to 19.5 or wherever the bottom of this box is. So it depends. If you already have a position, like let's say you bought in somewhere up here and you have some money, you can go ahead and average down here. Let's say I bought in $100 worth and you have $200 more to invest. So you're going to actually have $300 in H bar. But let's talk about entries. Let's say you get in at 33.8. This is your entry. This is going to be a white line. And so you're going to go ahead and what I would do is I would throw in another 100 right here. So this is your first entry. You're going to enter at market if it's below, if it's down. So it's down a lot. So I would buy. And if it comes down even farther, so you see how this is touching? I wouldn't go all the way to 19. I would do like 19.5 or even 20 or set a limit order and enter right there. So then you have the first 100 and you put another 100 in at market because you're down on it. So you want to average down if you're going long. Then set a limit order for 20, but or something that's, you don't want it to be at the exact point of the support level because again, support and resistance are zones. So it's no use to have it just right there because it might not hit. So I like to have it always a little bit above. So that is also a good entry. And I'm going to go ahead and clear some of this crap out of here. So we got our entry. So we have our first entry, our second entry, and possible third entry if it comes down and hits. Like, see if that would have been really, really hard to get an entry on, but someone probably could have had a stop or limit somewhere in here, which I wouldn't be surprised one bit. I'm gonna go ahead and change this. It's a little bit confusing for me. Yep, that works. It's good enough. Oh, I hope I picked. Yep. Okay. So again, but let's say you buy it and it doesn't come down past this line. Let's say this is the support line and it won't go. So what I would do, if it does, so it's really up to the trader now. So you did average down and I would wait for it to potentially come up and break this line. So it would be a little bit above what your entry is on your first price target, but it doesn't really matter because you're going long term and you're not going to care if you bought it at 35 cents or 20 cents when the stock's at $5 or something like that. So this is our first entry. I'm going to go ahead and it's just an example. This is our first entry. This would be our second entry because it's dropped down and you don't want to wait. You want to get in when you can. And you're going to have a limit order at just above the consolidation or just above the bottom of the consolidation period. Let's say if you wanted to play this like an ABC pattern, I would buy right here and have a stop loss down here. So your stop loss would be around 7%, which is more than I like to risk on a trade, but this is just an example. And your possibility is 41% in a trade. So I like to risk less than 2% per trade, 2% of my portfolio per trade if I am day trading, but I'm not risking that all the time. So it's more like I'm risking 5 cents to gain 10, 15 cents per share. So that's how day traders think. They don't think in percentage. They think of how many cents per share and how many cents are you going to lose per share. But this is probably the best way to do entries. And again, everyone's gonna have their own strategy. You had your first entry here, or you had your first entry here. You're gonna buy, since you're down, you're gonna go ahead and buy. You don't want to wait because if it continues to go down, but you're not gonna go in with your full entry. You have a third of your position here, and then you put in another third, and then you have a limit order to where if it hits that, it'll automatically fill for you. That's another third, and then another limit order that's above your buying price, but you don't want to do it right above it. You have to actually make it actual level. See how we have some strong resistance here? So if it breaks that, we're going to be able to catch the move to the upside. So it's not just right above your entry. You have to actually plan it out to where it works like as like a breakout almost. Since we have these boxes drawn, you can go ahead and you can literally just go draw another box like this. And I need to this white box. I'm going to go ahead and also change this, trying to make it, yeah, you have this white box. So if it breaks this white box or this resistance, it'll continue going forward. And that's why I have that entry right there. And it's really, you'll get better at it with time. You just need to be looking at charts and making sure that you find support and resistance. And that's like pretty much the basic. So, and it doesn't really matter. If you buy it up here, then you're going to obviously, let's say you buy it up here and you're watching it come down. I would buy some right here at this level because there's this support. You know, so I'd buy a little bit above the support. And if it continued to come down, then I would look for the next support, which would have probably been somewhere in here, which that would have been somewhere in this zone. So this is a zone, obviously. So it's somewhere in here. And could potentially, that's what I would have set it, but I wouldn't have gotten filled just because it doesn't fill all the time. So if it found resistance or on this 50 SMA and then continue to pull down, I would average down. So then your next entry would be here, here, and then as it continues to come down, after we hit this, so we might have a double bottom here, and after we kind of found out and started getting momentum in the upside, well, after we confirm this double bottom, then I would have, once we make a new high from here, that's when I probably would have entered again. Or you could have entered down low if you are a long-term trader or long-term investor, then you want to get as low price as possible if you're looking for an invest. So, and again, this can always come back down and touch the 20 SMA. So you just have some money on standby if you are considering buying more and more and more. I really don't care where I'm buying in right now on HBAR. I'm not even really looking at charts. I mean, I am, because if it's really overextended and I see it's going down, I'll wait and put a limit order out what I want. But I won't, if let's say I know it's going to pull back to 19, I'll have my limit order at 20, 21, somewhere in there. So I know I'll get filled, but I will not just let it sit there. So that's basically it on entries. Entries and exits are extremely hard and difficult for someone to get very, very good at it, especially if you're trying to day trade. Long-term investors don't really care as much, but day trading is very, very important, and entries and exits are probably some of the most important things out there. So thank you guys so much for watching. I am working on an intro for, working on an intro for the YouTube, and it's looking good. I'm looking on Fiverr for someone. I reached out to somebody. They reached back. I just gotta respond, and it's going to be hopefully pretty cool. And I'm going to be giving $100 away at 1,000 subscribers, and then $1,000 away at 10,000, then $10,000 away at 100,000 subscribers. So this is over the course of years and years and years of doing it, but I'm just letting you guys know, if you guys stick for the ride, you could potentially win a lot of money. Subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.